Hello and welcome to episode 8 of Another Job Bites the Dust. Look at us go! This week I am talking to my friend Nico Ndlovu. I tried really hard to get that name right. I even got him to send me a voice note of it, so I'm hoping I did. He is a comedian from Zimbabwe. We got into his backstory, his opinions about, Zimbabwean cultures, the situation in Zimbabwe, living in the UK, being a comedian in the UK, running an open mic comedy night in the UK, so a bunch of stuff. It's a lot of fun, actually. I learned a bunch of new stuff that I was not aware of. And also, as always, these are honest adult conversations. You might hear something that A, you don't agree with, or B, it's a bit sensitive for you. That's fair enough. All that aside, I hope you enjoy it. Hello, Nico.
How you doing? Oh, we started.
Yeah, we have started. This is amazing, man.
See you, man.
You're officially the first Zimbabwean guest on this show, which is, it's like massive.
Good.
Cool. Straight away, obviously, so you're a comedian and you also dabble in acting.
Yes.
Right? So I want to know, how did you find comedy, man? Because that's always a fascinating story. How did you end up in comedy? Did you start it back home or did you start it straight away here?
No, I started here in UK 2012.
Right?
I met a group from Zambia. Zambia and Zimbabwe were neighbors. So when we met in UK, I was like, our brothers, how's going on? So they were already doing comedy. They had a group called Wasasa.
Yeah.
Wasasa means you're not funny. It's a Zambian language.
Okay.
What's it called? Chichewa.
Chichewa.
Yeah. So like, oh cool. So when I joined them, my role there was I was writing lots of different, but whatever I was writing, just I showed the idea. So we started meeting once a week in someone's house, playing ideas, sketches.
Sketches. Was this mostly sketch comedy, stand-up comedy? Sketch comedy.
Yeah. So maybe 3 people do sketches and then 1, 2 do stand-up.
Yeah. It's a mix.
Yeah. So I started to they give me 3 minutes. Almost pissed myself. It was the hardest 3 minutes of my life.
Oh God, yeah.
No one laughed. I thought, okay, fine. Another time, I done it. Then these people are old, 50s. It was after the jazz festival. Then, after the jazz, you can imagine the audience for the jazz festival. Normal 50s, 60s guys.
I've got friends that are young and they're into jazz, so it's all age groups. But yeah, I can see how you would have you get crowds. Yeah. You get different kind of crowds.
So after the jazz, they say, oh, just to do comedy. These guys are smart. They know that it's not gonna work. They put me first.
Send Nico. Yeah. Let's see what happens.
I done my 5 minutes and these guys look miserable. I said to them, since you're miserable, I'm gonna leave you like this. Guess what? They laugh. That's how I get the best laugh ever in my life. That's how comedy works.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to acknowledge that.
Find a way out of it.
Things are not working. Honesty can be the best policy in comedy.
So when you talk about comedy, for me, my experience is there's so much pain and there's so much joy as well.
It's mixed, isn't it?
So I started writing about culture differences because I learned a lot since I moved to UK. Not only Scotland, I mean both Tasmania, England.
So you live in Glasgow at the moment. You've been living here for quite some time. You lived in London as well?
Yes,
yeah. Yeah, I lived down in Windsor for a while and then mostly in Glasgow.
Yeah, so I don't know what you want me to talk about. Glasgow?
No, I'm just curious. So did you always have a fascination for comedy? Did it happen over time? For me, it happened during my high school years. I just started leaning more and more towards comedy. How did you...
I think, that's a good one. Because when I was at school, I used to make fun of my friends a lot. And sometimes people gathering under the tree.
Yeah.
And stuff. I found it was cool. But in the other side of it, I found it was kind of a bit of selfish of me. Why should I put someone down? But in the village, we didn't actually have what's called resources to see comedy and stand-up comedy. We didn't know what comedy was about.
I'm from Eastern Europe.
Maybe I got it that time, then I locked it myself.
Yeah.
Then as I grow, I moved different countries.
Yeah. I was gonna say, being from Romania, I've seen a bunch of comedy for free online because, it's not like my dad was gonna give me money to see something live, So yeah, my exposure was via the internet and stuff.
Yeah. Now for me, I think when I say these people laugh at me, but it's true. The first time I see television, I think I was 15. because I was born in the village. I was like, what's this? But no, not like in a stupid way, you know.
No, it's like you're just curious.
Yeah, but I think when I look back, I think I should have never seen TV. Maybe my life would be much better. But now look at me, I have to be talking.
So I am curious. So which part of Zimbabwe are you from?
I'm from Matavaland. Matavaland is in the east west. Yeah.
Matava?
Matavaland.
Tebeleland.
It means one Develes. So imagine Devele and then Matavaland.
Okay.
Yeah, Matavaland. I don't know. In our country, the word Ma means it can kind of like including everybody, like we.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like our Tebeleland or something like that.
Matavaland, like Scottish, for example. Matavaland because Develeland. So land, I think in our cultures, land means a lot to us. So
fair enough.
We got Mashonaland. Mashonaland is Shona people. So like the two tribes, very powerful ones.
Shona and
Ndebele.
Ndebele. Okay, right. I'm learning already something. Cool. Okay, and that which was the eastern part?
So I'm very bad when it comes to east and west and north.
Okay.
In Africa, but I'm sure that I'm from the west and east to the south. Yeah, west. Because my Thailand is bad. Okay, let me put it very short, quick for people.
Yeah.
I'm not far from Botswana borders.
Okay.
Yeah, so everyone knows but Zimbabwe and Botswana were just neighbors. Zambia, Malawi, Mozambique.
I literally had basically yesterday, because we were talking yesterday, I had a little like crash course of like, we studied, so in Romania you do learn like world geography and you learn African geography as well, but it's been a while, so I was like, hang on, let me refresh this. I've got a vague idea of what's going on.
Yeah, well, Zimbabwe is not a big country, but it's just like...
Yeah, it's like 15 million people.
Yeah.
Like Romania used to have 20, I don't know how many it has now, because...
It's one of those special countries. It's a shame that the government failed. It's one of those. Everyone loves Zimbabwe anyway, but
yeah,
it's just a shame. But
my go-to quote on Romania is fantastic to visit, not that great to live.
Yeah.
It can be great if you know how to navigate it, and if you got resources, it can be fantastic. But for a bunch of people, it's not great, and I don't think I'm, stepping on any toes by saying that. There's a reason most of us left, or a lot of us have left. Not most of us, but
I don't know. I don't want to say much, but I don't have hope. Actually, people might sound like, oh, Nico's too negative or what, but because I don't want to lie, because I don't want to pretend. I know when I look at my life, I hate my life. I know, I guess that country, there's no way it's going to change. It's impossible. But maybe I'm wrong, as I said, the only way, let's don't go too political.
Yeah.
But I think, in my own opinion, it will change. Maybe I won't be here.
Yeah, it will change. It just takes time, and sometimes it takes more than not.
No, Zimbabwe took too much time. It's no longer time.
Yeah.
They actually enjoy failure. They make failure as a hobby. So you can't really change in that. You know what I mean? You cannot change life if you make failure as a hobby.
Yeah.
As a normal thing. That's the big problem. So I think if they can realize that failure is not a hobby, it's not good hobby, maybe that way they will change. But in the moment, even young people in the moment, they come in this technology thing, WhatsApp, whatever, they're not paying attention. They're not present what's going on around them. It's about what we see in the other world. You jump in.
Yeah, there's definitely a lure to virtual worlds, not virtual reality, but just being, interacting with people online, and it can be escapism as well. And next thing you know, 2 hours, 3-4 hours later, you've just watched a bunch of YouTube videos or just read a bunch of random articles that did not improve your life in any way, did not contribute. You just logged out.
When I was young,
we all do it from time to time.
Yeah, but I miss back home when I was young. We used to sit under the tree when it's hot. My grandmother, everyone. No one's talking. It's like, when I'm in Europe now, I call this meditation. But at that time, we didn't know. It's just like quiet and so hot, but it was this nice blaze of air.
Interesting, okay.
And everyone was just relaxing.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what's your favorite memory? Or not favorite memory, you can't have one, but what was like a very pleasant memory you have of Zimbabwe, growing up in Zimbabwe?
Now, I grew up in the village, I think.
I'm a bit of a village boy myself. I spent my summers.
My favorite moment was like to see one car a day was like a dream.
Really?
Yeah.
Just spotting cars?
Yeah, no, like just passing our village, dust everywhere. We know the white people are going to kill elephants.
So is that a thing in the area of just like poachers and stuff?
Oh, yeah. No.
Or not poachers, it's the tourism thing, right?
Yeah, but this is where the Zimbabwean resources break down in front of our eyes. So Americans will come to Zimbabwe and buy to go and shoot the animal. you know, and they pay. But us who live next to this animal who don't benefit nothing. Where's that money go for? What is it for?
Well, I'm sure somebody's making, somebody's getting a cut. We just don't know who.
Exactly. So it's only now when I'm in Europe, I wake up, if I go back home, maybe there's so many things I can change. Small things, not like political, but environmental, for example. Like, I never know about climate change, but now I'm involved in climate change. I'm an activist.
Yeah.
But in school, we never told why it's too hot, why it's too cold, why there's no rain. We're always like praying. But now it's kind of like, should I start science maybe to get actual deep to the core of the problem? Maybe.
Okay. Can be useful, yeah.
Yeah, so what I was trying to say, like, for me to live in Europe and mix those two worlds together, as you asked me what's my favorite memory in my life, there's so many of them.
Yeah.
I think traditionally, life, the way we live back home is quite different than.
Yeah, I mean, that goes into the second question of, sort of cultural differences, things that, what did you clash up against, clash with here in the UK or just in Europe, if there was anything at all? Maybe you just walked in and straight away like, yeah, this works for me. I know I've got some things, like coming to the UK that was just new, it was different.
First of all, I think the fun one was like when I arrived in London, I met this girl, friend of mine actually, Linda, she's still in London, then meet another English girls. So God, this is like, for me, because I lived in the big cities before. Now it's like, in Africa used to be this, I don't know if it's still the same, just not be caught wrong. So in Africa, it's like a woman cannot buy your drink, you buy all the time.
Okay, yeah.
So I buy, this girl, I buy a drink, she's like, I buy another one, she's like, no, it's my turn. I'm like, no, I buy a drink. She's like, Nico, you're in Europe now. We work everywhere they sell and stuff. I'm like, what? I was like, this is new. Like,
Steve, also, it's kind of, it works better for the old wallet, Like, you don't have to buy all the drinks.
No, maybe some people think that way, but for me, I'm trying to say, like, our culture was like holding women hostage. Yeah, so they couldn't have freedom, like, to work or express themselves and stuff. That's how the culture changed for me.
If you take away a person's income, they immediately become subservient to whoever can provide that income. So that just works. There's similar things that happen in Eastern Europe, Romania as well. It's just the culture worldwide sort of changing that way.
So that was like, for me, like waking up. I didn't know girls could earn money at work, maybe earn more than me. That's the culture difference, which means it's actually like the European style, that everybody is not 100% equally, by least. We always complain about racism, but never complain about women's rights.
I mean, you could make an argument that some people do, and obviously there's an entire movement. But yeah, it is.
No, I was looking at where I'm from. Yeah, I'm talking about my experience in my village and culture stuff. Yeah, but now things are changing as well. I've been here 22 years, man.
22 years?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay. I'm coming up to 9 years soon.
Are you born in Europe anyway?
Yeah, but just 9 years in UK.
Like, if I imagine me, like, I wouldn't say that I was 9 years in Africa, because I'm born in Africa. Doesn't matter which country I'm in. I'm with you, but I wish I can say that, but like, I'm from a different planet. I would like to say, if I was born here, I don't know how would I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you're born in a certain place, you're not going to have certain experiences. You almost become blind to them. So this is your normal. This is what you live by. And it takes a certain level of education and empathy to be like, there's people that live entire lives by completely different rules.
Yeah.
And they're just like people like you and me. They're just in a different system.
Yeah.
And I think, it's mind-blowing to sort of start thinking about that, like...
Yeah, I think, like, I don't want to jump too much fast forward, but people live here in Castlemate, some of them never been in London, and they're born here.
Yeah.
And it's like 400 miles away, so it's like, In our villages, we travel to village sometimes when there's...
Yeah, we're talking about that yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, got really different relatives, different villages, can work for 2 days, 3 days.
Yeah.
And it's always a surprise that time. There was no letter, there was no text message. So if you sit in your aunt turns up with a nice carrying gift, whatever.
Yeah.
People running there, Got some chicken, everything. Oh, it's nice, man.
Do you ever get a relative that you're like, oh, here they are again. I don't want them here, but I'm not gonna send them away now.
No, not me. My family are nice. No, I never. No.
Just that one cousin, they're like, here he's gonna eat everything. He's gonna make a mess. Oh.
No. The only thing when you find some annoying people are when they're drunk, which means it's normal, you know. But that time I was not drinking. I was young, but it didn't bother me. Just laugh at them.
Yeah.
But no, in my family I don't have anyone I don't like. I don't think so.
So how did you end up in the UK? I mean, that must have been an interesting journey. I was telling you yesterday, I came here by bus. It took me 33 hours, but...
For me, like, I don't want to talk about my case, my journey, because some of us, we didn't come here for pleasure.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like there's some political issues and...
Okay, if you know, I'm not going to press.
So, yeah, I might say something that might damage someone's case outside of this film.
Understood.
So, as I said...
So it is a complicated situation, let's put it that way.
It is, but if I start really opening up, talking about what happened to my people, to my village in 1983, for example, since this, Mugabe actually killed 20,000 of my people in space of 3 months. It was a mini genocide, it's called.
Well, it doesn't sound that mini, it sounds pretty big.
Yeah, that's why they call it BBC, they say mini genocide. I'm like, really? Are you calling me mini? What is the biggest you want to be? So and then after that, that's why our villages, everybody just displayed and burned down the houses. Then people started running. We moved from another village. It was chaotic. Then I moved to my uncles. They were living in another place. And then I have my auntie in Botswana. Just keep on and off, man. Different places. And then
Just kept moving.
End up in Johannesburg, in South Africa. Johannesburg is like UK. You wake up and then you start meeting people and stuff. And then even South Africa is not safe for any, if you're a foreigner, for example.
Okay. I mean, I've never been to South Africa, but...
Yeah. I don't want to talk too much about South African case because I live here for a long time, but I'm sure people hear stories about...
Yeah, I mean, I was actually kind of fascinated by Zimbabwe because it's in one of those places that the media doesn't really cover. So we don't hear a lot of news out of Zimbabwe here in the UK.
It's not like the media does not cover it, it's just the government doesn't allow people to cover, like, for example, North Korea.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of like we better have a special permit or special, I don't know what it's called, to be like really in the center of the... They got their own papara, all their own bullshit stuff.
Yeah, they got their own
But nowadays I think there's people
communication.
sneaking because of these phones.
Okay.
Yeah, you can find some news and stuff like that, but the world is not interested in Zimbabwe anymore.
Well, I don't know if it's not interested. It's just, obviously, there's problems going on all the time, especially these days. But I think, the Western media has certain blind spots. And I don't think it's controversial to say that once you get to Africa, the media in the UK doesn't report that much on it.
Yeah, in the UK, I don't know, I've lived in the UK for too long. They're biased, especially BBC. They only do something that there's something for them. They always suppress other countries. They never talk about poverty in UK. It's like as they talk about Africa.
Yeah.
While there's poverty here, go to Maryhill, go to Ian Castle, go Govan or stuff. They don't talk about these things as like super problem. But when it's African country, this is...
Yeah, no, the image of African countries should change hopefully soon because, like, again, as I was looking up a bit of Zimbabwe, I'm seeing these pictures and I'm like, you're seeing modern cities. You're not seeing what you would normally associate mentally based on what you've seen on the TV.
Yeah.
Like if you actually just Google it a little bit and get a little street view going, you're like, okay.
I think every country is like you and me. In my wardrobe, I got some clothes that I can wear, and then this guy's got nice clothes. Then some shit clothes, which means I can wear. Like this guy is suffering, right? So Zimbabwe is like that. It's good. You can change the image. You can use the image that people look at super. But if you go to the villages, I'm talking about going to the rural areas where the roads are like horrible situation, man. It's easy to like the government, whoever is taking. I never see someone like traveling the world and take a shit photo. Sorry, and it's always like.
No, you're okay.
It's always like, yeah, nice photo and stuff like that. But I think, cut story short, I agree with you. There's some changes in Zimbabwe. Yes, there's some good buildings and stuff.
But there's still
But
problems.
those are buildings that are only in the center of Glasgow. If you go to Commonwealth, what's called Easter House, for example. I'm just making example. Not
Yeah.
you can see the difference. So of course, Zimbabwean cities, they're trying to be look good.
Yeah, but they do like on picture at least. It's like even just the pictures, because like in the media Europe, we're sort of used to seeing certain images. You know, the classic send aid and whatnot, and fair enough, that is required in many places. But also, let's not ignore the many advancements that have been happening.
Now, for me, like when it comes to talk about aid, all that stuff, I don't have much experience, but I can sense that United States and UK or European countries, they're always trying to use that as the power they have. Like, I can feed you while they're taking our resources. We can feed ourselves. You know, if they can stop the sanctions in Zimbabwe, for example, Mugabe is dead. Why you have to sanction Zimbabwe? If these guys who are, it's still the same Mugabe people, understand that, which means I disagree with them. But sanction, they're actually punishing poor people like my family, my friends, which they have nothing to do with politics, you know? So even if you want to do a business, you can't do it because Mugabe's sanction is infecting people. You know, I mean, they should sanction individuals, not the whole country.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things where I don't have enough understanding of the geopolitical situation to give a incisive and sort of, you know, interesting answer to that problem. But so I'm just gonna say that I don't know enough.
No,
but it's an interesting situation.
I don't know enough actually, but I think I have a right to have a voice.
Yeah.
The way I see my country.
Yeah, I mean, being from there, you have absolutely a right to at least express your opinion.
And I'm sure lots of people got different opinions as well. But for me, I think United States and UK and European countries, what they're doing in Zimbabwe is wrong. They should not actually punish the whole nation. If you got a problem with someone else, deal with him. You know what I mean? That government's been there for 40 years. They do nothing about it. But they keep on punishing poor people. You know, every sanction, I don't know what kind of sanction I'm talking about, but honestly, Zimbabwe cannot transfer tobacco anymore. It used to be one of the best tobacco, we're the best tobacco in Africa, maybe in the world. But as soon as the British left, your tobacco is no longer good, but still the same plant. What changed? The production's the same. The thing's the same. The only thing changed because you left, you don't like us, and you have a problem with this, and then you cut off all the deals. But what I'm trying to say here, I'm not talking about the government itself. I'm just wanting to imagine people working that field, poor people working that farm. They no longer have jobs. Because,
suddenly their industry is not worth anything.
The boss can't sell anything, so he can't pay them. So the poor people sent home to die because there's no jobs. Imagine if it was me, I don't know, I would think I'll make a deal with this whoever was in charge of production. Like, listen, if you got a problem with this guy, Mugabe, deal with him, but please let the production go on, because these people need jobs, people need to feed their kids, and this production has been there for years. Why now? You know what I mean? Like, if the production was poisonous, yes, I'll agree, but it's still a good product, you know? So I think this is what my anger is when you look at how Zimbabwe has been sanctioned. It's actually infecting poor people who were just relying on these small jobs, and they're no longer there because you can't sell anything from Zimbabwe to anyone except gold and diamond. See, that's another problem. They will accept gold and diamond, but they don't accept something like tobacco, fruits, whatever, blah, blah.
So have a lot of people left Zimbabwe because of it? Has there been a lot of immigration?
No, lots of people left for different reasons.
Okay, there's the political stuff, but I was thinking strictly economically. So again, I come from a country where a massive portion of the workforce has just gone to seek, work and life in other places. So that's why I was just wondering if the same thing happened in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, more than that, I think. In Zimbabwe, I don't know, like my relatives, some of them, they left Zimbabwe in 1980s. They went to South Africa, for example, or Mozambique to work. They've done well, actually. Like they integrated in those countries, and they get authentic passports, and then they become that part of the country. But it's still home. If you look at those people who left in 80s and 90s, they support themselves without the government. They got houses like this in the village, like proper, whatever, like nice living. They don't rely on Zimbabwean economics. They work outside, and they can. I think that's another thing. Like Zimbabwean government is hiding behind those kind of people who can support themselves because you're working abroad or different place. So it doesn't look like people are suffering, because if I can support my family right now, and my neighbor, then another neighbor got a son like me or daughter. It become like the whole village.
I mean that happens all the time. It's like somebody gets a good job somewhere, they start talking back about, oh, you see what they're doing really well for themselves. Where did they go? Oh, well, I'm gonna try to go there as well then.
Yeah. That's where the government take advantage of that, because people go away, they go whatever. But imagine if everyone stays. That'd be so funny, but not in a bad way. I don't want that. I don't think it's not got the energy to actually suffer because when I change the government. But yes, of course, suffering change the government in politics. That's why I got people called activists. Some people die protesting, they're shot and stuff. But I wanted the silence one. I didn't want the violent protest. Just
peaceful one, yeah.
Yeah, let's go and sit under the trees, the whole country, and see what's gonna look like. I don't know if it to make any sense, but it's just like, yeah, I don't know. If people ask me, what I can do myself is contribute about ideas. That's all I can do.
And just get the conversation going, bring awareness.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the first step. If people know there's a problem, then people can act on the problem. And if they choose not to act, it's on them at that stage.
As I said earlier on, you see if people take poverty as a hobby, especially the government, it becomes normal to them in school. Because what is think about his pocket? If he got $200 in his pocket every morning, he doesn't give a shit about people, man. You know what I mean? And that's the way it is. And using the army and stuff, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I live in UK for so long time, so I can't really go deep about Zimbabwean issues much. But I still feel like it's a shame. 40 years, take the government 40 years to not utilize that. It's a horrible system. We can blame the West, actually, as I was saying, but sometimes you can do things by yourself,
Yeah, I think there's always multiple factors. Most of the time it's not just one thing. Like again, in Romania's case, we can blame communism all day long, and you can say that it has left a legacy and whatnot, but the corruption, the many other ills that plague my home country as well, we can't just put it all on. We can't just say, okay, it's all somebody else's fault. No, some of it is just coping mechanisms that we need to sort of reevaluate and sort of update and start thinking about the world in a different way. Starts with us.
Yeah, I think you're right. For me, like, since I live in UK, I realized that actually the whole world is the same, but some countries are very professional on actually surviving during this what's called the process of suppressing people. I mean, like for example in UK, you think claiming benefits, you think that's helping because yes, you cannot work. It does, but mentally it's not a good system because like, come on, man, you're born in this country and it never worked. What's wrong with you? You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Like, come on, but that's what the government wants. He wants to keep people in that level where they control your thinking, your living.
I mean, I do believe there should be some sort of safety net. I think, people should see it as what it is, as a safety net. So if I need it, sometimes life hits you hard, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
At least I have that to fall back on. But you shouldn't be living your whole life falling back on something. At some point you need to try to do something for yourself as well. And again, I'm not saying, people get unlucky and some people get more unlucky than others. That happens.
Yeah.
But be honest with yourself.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that. What I'm trying to say, this come back when I talk about culture differences, right?
Yeah.
This is, every country's got a different system. I don't know in Romania, do you have benefit system?
We have certain benefits. It's been a while. I haven't been, living there in 9 years almost. But there was some sort of child benefit and things like that, but the benefits are not that great. Like I think my dad used to receive like 40 Romanian lei every month for raising me. I mean, 40 Romanian lei is...
How much is that in pounds?
In pounds? You wanna know how much it's 8 pounds. It's 8 pounds a month.
That's funny. I'm just like, because in Zimbabwe that's about 10 trillion.
Yeah, no, it's 8 pounds. That's what you used to receive, man.
Zimbabwe is the only country that's got 1 billion in notes.
Really? It's got a 1 billion note.
1 billion.
Oh my god.
I'm laughing because I think there is.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I'm not laughing because it's funny, but I'm laughing at who the fuck think that way? Like, why are you printing stupid man for? Like, what the hell are you talking? What are you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if there's no value, why are you doing it? Why don't you just say I'm broke? just announce the world, I'm broke, guys. There's no currency. Stop it. that fooling people. A boy carrying 1 billion seat.
I mean, if it's any relief, we in Romania used to be millionaires, so we used to have millions on notes. Yeah.
Why are they doing that for? It doesn't make sense.
It's,
you know what I mean?
But yeah, I remember that what happened in my childhood. They cut it back. They basically took off 4 zeros from our banknotes, and that was like such a mind fuck because you got used to like being a millionaire.
This is where the government actually playing people's brain because they're actually taking a piss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you got 1 billion in your pocket, you know you can't buy bread. What's that for? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, oh, I got money, but you forget about the value.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's childish to me. That's
one
of the most stupid things ever happened.
That's going into economics again. I'm not familiar with the political and the economical situation, but it does sound just the idea of buying a piece of bread with 1 billion. It sounds a bit funny. Let's be honest.
That sounds stupid to me. Like you can't do that. Like who the hell? What are you doing? I'd rather say, guys, I'm broke, my country has no money, and I'm not printing nothing. In that case, maybe someone feels sorry for you.
Just put your hands up, like, yeah.
There's United States dollars. Zimbabwe used to use American dollars.
Really?
They still do it. Obama, I think, injected about, I don't know, I can't remember, I can't say the number, but some billion in Zimbabwe. It's called how do you call them? Oh, there's a word of that money when someone they give you like kind of like punching your chest to wake up.
Yeah, it's relief. No. Not relief. Economic.
Refunds. The bonds.
The bonds.
The bonds. Called the bonds.
Bonds.
Yeah. But it's American dollars, but the bonds. So they used to watch them because nothing comes in. So that money rotating the same people and becomes dirty. Sometimes you see them hanging them on the washing. I know I'm laughing. It's not funny. It's just I'm laughing at the Zimbabwean government, how stupid he is, like to think this is nice to do. I was like, oh man. Well, people ask Nico, what would you do if it was you? Man, simple. I will never chase the farmers away. I will never do that. I would ask the farmers, can we share the land? I'll pay 25%. Train my own people to be agriculture as well. So before we shift, whatever the agreement was about farmers, to shift them, you know that even if you shift because there was a disagreement with the land. What people liked, for example, the British about the land in Zimbabwe. I understand that, but you can't just push them straight away like, oh, killing them. That was a big mistake. It's easy to say, let's share the land. I'll pay 25% of your land, while secretly training your own people to know to drive a tractor, to plant.
You didn't have a basically agriculture.
There was no system in place to replace these good farmers. So you're sending hooligans from the village to take the big farmer just to enjoy drinking beer in the big land now.
And then once there's a lack of power, a vacuum of power, then other people were gonna fill it up, and then.
For me, it's like it was not smart because now you buy orange juice in the next door country because the nice white man was a good farmer. He's been killed or he's been chased away. Now bring these idiots coming and drive a tractor. I always say, why you give me a farm if I can't drive a tractor? What am I gonna do with it? You know what I mean? Like. Yeah, at least I can farm in this house. You can see in the windows there. You know, so small things like that. I know it's the government mistakes. Like, don't ever like if you wanna play a game like that, you better train your people know that they will replace that same standard. But he doesn't have a agriculture force in Zimbabwe. Of course, we go up in the villages, we can crop and stuff. But I'm talking about really proper farming.
Like massive at a scale.
Production. I mean. Like machinery,
export,
export, communications as well. You know, selling apples. There was no system set up, and then one day you chase the farmers. Well, I'm not blaming on that. There's some sanctions I don't blame because if you kill my cousin because he was a farmer, then let's pretend I'm white, and then you kill my
so you can understand some of the
you kill my friend or my family. I'll be upset. I'll cut off all the networks I had to supply in that country. I'll do it.
Okay, I get your points.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it wasn't everyone, and you just, at the end, we still got innocent people caught in the crossfire.
Yeah, I think that's where life is now, but it can be turned around. I'm sure there's a lot of farmers want to go back to Zimbabwe. They love, some of them born there. You know, it's their country as well. You know? They should be allowed to come back and live again and do, and that's the only way that country can come back to normal. We need farmers back. Without white people coming back to Zimbabwe, I'm sorry, there's nothing. I don't see any progress.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's irrelevant they're white or not. It's you need skilled workers. You need the people that know how to do the large-scale farming.
I want to be honest with you. I think white people, they really contribute a lot in Africa, in Zimbabwe, and they took a lot as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they're good people, bad people, but I'm just saying the world cannot balance if we don't get together.
Yeah.
Now some countries like I don't know. In my own opinion, like let's talk. I'm not comparing Zimbabwe and Europe, for example. Like there's some things that already taken away from us from the beginning of the British or whatever came to Africa. Something's missing. They did that. We can't find it anymore. Before they came, we used to live without all this nonsense and stuff, you know. And that is my worry. Like, what happened? They never tell us what did they take in us. What the image they took from us. What did they replace with it, you know? And they replaced us with this poverty thing. We used to live without these people. So that's my imagination of what if, for example.
Yeah.
But it's too late now. But I can feel there's something missing that they took from us, and they're posing us to some horrible thinking. That's why we can't they crippled. You know, someone crippled.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I think trauma does have a way of affecting, just staying with you and affecting your thinking in the long term, and just.
We're not used to wear this stuff, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're from the bed climate to walk without no shirts on. They still have child, the woman, no nothing. Suddenly we're wearing fucking jeans and shit, you know, like, what the hell, man? Like, but again, people, Nico, that's the way the world progressing. I'm like, no. You know, it's not the way the world progressing. It's just what's called consuming and money and all that stuff. And we're already swimming in this bullshit, man. Like, there's no way coming up. There's no way. We're all like, in a moment, we're swimming on fire.
Yeah.
It's sad. But I don't know if you want me to talk about. I think I already touched many things. That if you got any questions.
Yeah, I do have questions. I mean, I was gonna bring it back to, obviously, we've discussed a lot of the situation in Zimbabwe. I was curious about you being an artist. How have you been finding being an artist in the UK?
Yeah, it's nice.
How have you been managing that sphere?
Well, I think for me, like I felt very. Like when I started to run open nights, for example, that was a challenging and exciting as well. Meeting lots of people, and I think in my belt, more than 1,000 comedians passed me. Yeah. In Scotland, for example, that I don't know. I'm very proud about that. Actually, like I think it's not about what I did, but I think it's something that I never thought in my life that I can actually give other people. Platform, and opportunity as well that I never been given myself. Meeting good people, man, nice. I wouldn't say bad things about comedians, but because they got their own struggle, you know. People support each other. In Scotland, there's so many groups of comedians. I learn a lot. Like you can't fit in all of them.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, at the end of the day, you just. No one's everyone's cup of tea. That just doesn't happen.
But I think there's a problem, though. I always have to say about this. People always say Nico's maybe it's not, but if you want me to be honest about Scottish comedy forum, community, whatever it's called, it needs lots of work because those who are out there, they don't give it opportunity for the people in the middle or in the end. Because, I think. I don't know if I could be in that side. Could I think the same? I don't know. I don't know about promoters. I don't know if you ever come across any promoter in Scotland. Like, I can go to this promoter. You can give me a chance to go to London. I
mean, most of my networking, and again, I'm still starting out, so I can't really talk, to the big bucks for the big guys. But my networking has been other comedians, and I've met, a bunch of good guys like. Patrick Linton, I'm Mike Emotion, just a bunch of guys and girls as well that Laura Quingo, If they got a gig something, they know something, but you should try, reach out there, see what happens. So they've been very kind to me of, just letting me know if there's an opportunity here or there and things like that. So yeah. Kavita, I've almost forgot about Kavita Badwaj. She's been amazing.
I think I'm a threat in the Scottish community. I'm a threat. The reason why I say that, because there's racism, and I'll never stop saying about this because it is. But the only reason why no one understands, because I'm the only one person who experience it. And people never experience it. They were like, oh no, there's nothing. There's nothing. There it is, and we should actually discuss it. Oh, they say, prove it. You have to go with a camera. You have to do this, prove how this works. So like, we're all different. I understand that, but I know that there's a... Let's talk about Edinburgh Festival, for example. Discrimination there is huge. For gay people, black people, whatever, in the applications and stuff like that. But that's only could prove it. They're like, well, mate, I don't know. Maybe I can go on and on because I will never ever prove it because it's always going to be covered because I'm only one person, maybe, or two people and stuff. There's less of opportunities for black people, Asian and stuff, to go like really... Television, for example. I mean,
TV is a fairly safe space economically, that they've got safe space in the sense that they will err on the side of caution, and again, they want to make their money back. So they will go with what they think works or has worked in the past. And sometimes times are changing. You need to be...
Yeah, we are paying TV lessons, for example. Why am I paying it if I cannot be there? You know what I mean? So Scottish Comedy, I think I've been attacked when I started on Facebook, for example. I had lots of... I'm also maybe wrong sometimes, but I only point my point out. So I was bombarded by this, blah, 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 blah. But I was really pointing something out. Someone said something to me that I didn't like it. And it's in the racial world. And when I put it in the forum, everybody... But some people stand with me, believe me, right? Like, people really say, yeah, that was wrong. Then some people, but I don't want to talk about Sosa much because Sosa for me, I already had enough in my own. In 4 years doing that. And as I said, yes.
Yeah, Sosa was the comedy night that you ran.
Yes.
That's so.
Yeah. For me, I had enough personally in my own feelings. My mental state was exhausted from that place. Then some small accident happens. You know what I mean? And then they're actually creating some stuff with that. But, like, as I said, like before, like, when you do something like, I was looking, where I'm going with this? You know what I mean? Like, if I stay in Sosa until 10 years, what is my goal? What I'm benefiting on it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you have to ask yourself the question.
Yeah, I didn't see any value of it. You know what I mean? Like, yes, get people opportunity to have a comedy, but I thought I can do better comedy without writing a comedy. Like now I feel like a comedian, like I'm ready, man. Like if they give me like 3 months, like I'll take a break. Maybe like in November, I'll blow up the stage. Because I know what I'm writing now. But before I was thinking about other people, my heart was always on you guys. Like, is this guy okay? Or is he gonna turn up? Or what's gonna go?
I mean,
it's a constant in the last minute. You know how painful is that, man?
We can be a complicated and unreliable bunch at times. That is true.
There's one time 6 people canceling one in the same hour, and the show is about to start maybe like in an hour. I'm freaking out. How I'm gonna fit these 2 hours with what? You know, you can be the best MC in the world.
You can do a song and dance.
You know what I mean? So these are other, not bad, but I like the pain of it. It's kind of like learning. Then once you get to that source of actually not accepting, but that's the way it is, man. Then you're in.
I mean, that's not one of the reasons, but like I'm trying to do things that I'm doing on my own. That depends mostly on me. That the less other people I have to involve in my process, the better it is for me, because at the end of the day I answer to myself, and if I don't turn up on time, that's on me, and I can have a word with myself. But I can't, it just feels slightly, it makes more sense to me to have stuff that I control, and that's the YouTube, that's the
I think
stand-up.
You're right. I think that's where I think like whoever run a open mic, they need to have some rules now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know people got commitments, we understand that, but come on, someone canceled me like 3 times on the row, and I still give them a chance. So I'm thinking like, you know what I mean? It's an open mic. It's not something like we sign a contract. So
yeah.
But I wanted the person to value themselves as well. Like, what do you think you're doing? You know what I mean? But it become like a normal thing. It's like, but it really stressed me out. It's like really painful, man. It's like sometimes I don't know if people notice. Like I look like, I don't know, unhappy or something like. Not because about you don't know what I went through from Monday, Tuesday, and the shows on Wednesday. This is one of the toughest moments to get the show up. Then you got the owners of the place or the venue. They don't even notice these things. They think it just happened, you know. And it's because maybe not given the opportunity to discuss something like those. I'm saying this that like whoever running an open mic, these are things that need people start looking at it, like paying attention, like communications. I mean, I think it would be the most powerful thing that people need to actually engage instead of like, oh, turning up, come on, Nico is here and stuff. But there's some really deep code that is missing on these groups. Like people should start actually talking. We don't know our mental state, each other's as comedians as well. We don't know what I'm going through, you know. But every time expect me to be jumping or talking and stuff.
Yeah, I
We
mean-
do this as stand-up comedian, hiding that piece of what's called that pain we have, until you don't know. I can't just walk to you like, hey man, listen, I am not doing great, but I've got 10 comedians waiting for me to start.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing with comedy, that when you're doing it, your job is to provide
Space.
not just to provide space, but you have to you try to bring your A game. You try to bring your funniest self, and sometimes that can be very difficult. When, like, we used to have a story back home in acting. The story used to be this famous actor in my hometowns doing this play, and in between the breaks or one of the curtain calls, somebody comes over. It's like, I'm very sorry, we just found out your dad passed away. The guy's like, okay, thank you. Goes on, finishes the play, does it well, gets a standing ovation, and at the end he's like, find me that fucking guy that told me during the show. Do not ever tell me news like that during a show. You know, I mean, and you know, so it's one of those stories that sometimes life hits you hard and you still have to, you know, keep going.
Yeah, that's true, man. Comedy is nice.
That's the job.
I think my best part on the comedy is like my first time in Edinburgh Festival. Like, this is everybody's dream to be in Edinburgh Festival. That's my free show, whatever. For me, like my name, because for me it was not like a stand-up comedy. I was lucky in 2016. I get a call from Ghana, and these guys, they're like super, man. They're like Afro-Batic dancers.
Okay.
So I was doing MC for them. They got like 4 stages of the show. So they first introduced the king, blah blah. So like when they change the cushions, take about 5 minutes, 6 minutes. I'm doing the
So okay, in between changes you're doing. Yeah, okay.
So I had like one of my best, 2 years working there, my best. When I say my best in the stage, that's where I could do my stuff. Because in that moment you can use the same joke because there's different audience every day. But we have a problem as a group as well. This is another thing because I've become a manager for the group. Because the fun is like, Nico, I want you to lead these boys because sometimes they turn up late, been out drinking, fucking no energy. So and some of them, they're older than me, they're trying, but I learned, I took in charge and the group went super, man. I told guys, no one can give this dream travel from Africa to here. You know, I live here, but for me, from here, it's 45 kilometers from Glasgow to here. I feel like I'm in heaven. What about you from thousands of miles to give this opportunity and you want to mess it up? Come on, man. Enjoy it, man. Enjoy it.
Make the most of it.
So yeah, we did well. It was sold out almost of the time because we were doing like kids. It's a family show as well. So people, and then my worst part, I think that day I'll never forget, was like we have to cancel the show because 2 guys didn't turn up, and the queue is like huge. I have to tell the kids, been told 4 days ago we're going to see this African big show, and now I have to go to the moms like, I'm sorry, I have to cancel the show. Jeez. I couldn't face it, man. It's like, I can see the eyes of kids, like, dropping down in my face. Because some idiots just mess it up us, you know?
And these were paid shows, right?
Yes, the tickets sold out.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, and the big guy sent me, said, Nico, you're in charge now, you deal with customers.
Yeah, I mean...
That's that moment for me, I always think about those kids. I don't care about adults, but the kids hit me so... Because I remember when I was in the village in Africa, when my mom said, we're going to town, I mean like in the big city.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep waiting for the bus, you know? So I can feel that pain as well. Like,
yeah, the excitement.
We did actually say, rebus them, okay, we can come tomorrow if we go back, anytime, whatever. Some people came, some people didn't. So I decided to come up with the idea like having a, what's called feedback sheets. So when the show finishes, the audience will pass in the table, with the table. They'll take out the show us. So end of the week we'll go and look at his feedbacks and work out things out. And so I worked with him for 2 years. So that was my favorite part in the Edinburgh Festival. Then I went back again with another, some other group, like this year, supporting other people and stuff. Someone asked me, are you a big fan of Edinburgh Festival again? No.
No?
No. It's like, no, I'm not big.
How come?
No, I want to be in that further stage. I mean, like the stage I am now, I need to fight to get to that stage.
I mean, it's a constant fight.
Yeah, so like for now, I wouldn't go do a show with, don't get me wrong, what I'm trying to say, I need to hide myself, work myself harder, then say to the guys, listen, the promoters, I want you to take me this show because I think I can do it. I can't sit on the command for 7 years or 8 years not moving forward. This is the problem about open mics. You think you're doing well because you're doing different plays. You're not moving anyway, just rotating the same story, maybe write a beat or whatever.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm focusing. So my plan is for the next year, sort of, I want to have my first hour, and hopefully next year I'll save up money and we'll see how it goes. But I want to either take it to the Fringe, or if not, just figure something out. I want to put out an hour worth of material that I've got in, and then we'll see how it goes from there.
For you got a chance because you got the acting experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got a good chance to actually turn things around. Like for me, what I was saying to you yesterday, my focus now is the theatre, on the theatre groups.
Theatre is a great way to.
I'm writing now with other groups. So I'm working groups in online all over. We've got this group called Artists Across Borders online. Like so.
What is the dream? What is the plan? What are we looking forward to?
Yeah, we're gonna come up with something. I won't say it now.
Okay.
But it's gonna be massive. I know that. It's gonna be massive. I have to replace open mic with something bigger, even if it's a theatre stuff. But
yeah, of course.
A production.
Look, at the end of the day, it's all storytelling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's all storytelling. Now, whether it's storytelling that's got a different message, whether it's storytelling about life, whether comedy is storytelling in just very specific sequences.
This is my dream for Edinburgh next year. Have a production.
There you go.
You know,
you got something.
That's it. So
nice.
From now, I still got 1 year almost. Let's say 11 months from now. From August to next August?
Yeah.
That's not much time, but I was talking on the phone with my friend. That's my friend. We're working in these things. So we're starting like Monday, we're starting really hitting the conversations or meeting, get the thing going.
Good.
I'm good on making targets, goals. Like I know from tomorrow, so next week, Monday, to next year, let's say in July, same time like today, the show will be already working in Glasgow.
Good.
I like the new theatre they're building, in Gogos. What's called
is it the Citizens?
Yes.
Are they just renovating it? Yeah.
Man, that's my eyes on that place.
It is a beautiful theatre. I've seen a show in there during Brexit around that time.
My friend,
it's beautiful.
I think my favorite is Trongate. It's small, Trongate.
Yeah.
It's nice. I've been there many times.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Quite small, but quite cool.
Yeah.
So I like that. So I think for me, comedy has been a pleasure doing it. But honestly, I wouldn't bother much about it. I'll finish it this August, and then I'll take a break, focus on the theatre thing and writing that. But don't get me wrong, if someone called me, oh, Nico, can you come and do the MC there? Why not? Because I've done it for a long time and it's quite cool. I'll still do some on and off, but I wouldn't really put.
So you're trying to shift your focus a little bit more to theatre stuff at the moment.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. Sometimes you gotta, as you said, you might come back with a fresh pair of eyes.
Yeah.
Things happen.
I like theatre because theatre it's got something personal to me. It's kind of like I say, storytelling.
Yeah, I mean.
And raising awareness as well. I work my work most of the time like raising awareness on refugees and asylum seekers, like my podcast, and I do research as well about homelessness. I work projects in England. So I thought, why don't I put my story of my life on the theatre? It's called The Lost Child. I know I sold the title already.
Lost Child.
The Lost Child goes. It's not a secret. The Lost Child, like every refugee, every migrant, once you leave your home, back home, and wherever you are, to me that's lost.
Not
in a negative way. Kind of like we go back to cultural differences, for example. My culture is lost, man. I can't practice it here. When I mean practice it, I'm not talking. It's not a religious thing. I'm just talking about small things, like walking barefoot. People throw the glass on the street, back home I'll never wear this. I'll be walking in the village barefoot. I like the touch of the nature, that energy connection is so powerful. We can't do it here because gases and everywhere, and it's cold.
Or it's very, very hot.
Exactly.
Like concrete is not your best friend when it comes to.
So these are small things. I'm just making a deal.
Okay.
And stuff like that. Go to the forest, eat fruits. You not lost different fruits for free. It's not like a compound shit. It's like, I miss those things. And what else? Now, thank God, because we've got African shops. You can buy.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few on my street as well, Pacer Road West. There's quite a few.
Yeah, it's not the same though, but it's still,
Yeah, I mean, it's better than nothing.
Exactly, still. So those are other things, like if we put in theater, for example, I can put haggis and put pandayam, African Nigerian food together in the sketch, for example. What is this? What I mean? These are kind of ideas I've got about playing about culture differences, like playing different food, different girlfriends, whatever it is, etc. So there is a story there. There's something nice about there. I can see it, but it just need time to actually work on it.
Yeah, it can be a fascinating new window into British culture, Zimbabwean culture. That's how always the cultures, they brush up against each other, and then something falls out, something funny, something interesting.
Same like a culture, for example. I'm not trying to make fun of people, but if you go to Govan Hill, for example, where there's lots of Roma people.
Well, yeah. So this is a whole conversation, but they're Romanian Romas. They're not. So this is where it gets like technical, because it's like in Romania you've got Romanians, Hungarians, Romani, Saxons, Turks, Jews, Mongolians, and a bunch of other people. Well, they're mostly in Slovakia. You will have some Slovaks in Romania, but that's like a different country. But so one of the things is you have Romanian Roma people, and then there's quite a few of them in Govan Hill, and as far as I'm concerned, they're also Romanian, because I'm ethnically Hungarian, I'm culturally both. So as far as I'm concerned, they, in my eye, they have the same status, because they get to claim being Romanian as much as I do. Yeah. So it's.
But for me, what I like about that part, like Romanians in Govan Hill, it's like they remind me back home where people call Bushmen, No, it's kind of like, they're that level. So like Bushmen, in our village, like it's sad to say, we put them in second class, the way they get treated because they got different life of living. These guys, their job, they keep moving. They don't settle in one place.
I mean, yes, there's that community as well in Romania, but again, it's the Roma community in Romania is very much misunderstood. It's a very misunderstood community. There's a lot of problems that go into it. It's been a fairly mistreated community as well, and you can say there's cultural differences, and things, you might say, they operate in a different way in life. I don't think that's fully the case. I think it's just. It's one of those get lost in the shuffle situations.
The point I was making to me is kind of like I learn these different cultures. Yeah. I've seen these different people, which means if I was in Africa, I wouldn't. But it reflects back to me that we do have same groups as well in our places where we from and stuff like that. Like I didn't know about gypsies until I came. Gypsies to me is the bush people, bushmen in Africa. They're not bad. These guys I respect bushman people. Bushman goes. Those are people who look after the planet more than us, eco-friendly. Because a bushman will never cut a tree when he wants the honey for the bee. They just take the honey and leave the tree standing. Some people in my village, they cut the tree down. Just to get the thing. So you see the bushman never damage the reason I'm talking about, let's go to climate change, for example.
The environment, sustainability.
Those guys, they take care of environment very well. They don't kill 10 elephants. If they find one, you feed them for 3 months or whatever. But a white person from America will buy to kill 3 elephants just for the horn, all that stuff. So
just for the bragging rights.
So this is maybe out of this interview I'm talking about, but I like to put it as well because COP26 I was involved a lot, and something came out of my mind. I was like, where's the poor people? Those are people who should be speaking because they live. The Bushmen, they live in there.
Yeah, the people most affected by the problem.
They wouldn't talk about how to solve the problem, but at least they can share their stories how they live. I've seen some what's called indigenous from Brazil during the COP26. They brought them to share their stories.
Yeah.
For me, it was it's cool, but it was money making. It was money exchanging, like story exchanging, like kind of like, I don't know if I got the, I didn't like the way like these poor people treated, like, we speak for you, but you are here. You know? I wanted them to have a freedom of speech, like they can express themselves and be instructed what to say, what to do, when to stop. You know, I noticed those things. Like you got one Brazilian person speak good English as a translator, but the guy who doesn't speak English in Brazilian, he actually instructed. You know, like I don't know. I wanted the guy to be angry. I wanted the guy to just really speak the way he wants. Then by the way, this is what he's saying. Maybe it's not what he's saying. You know,
I mean, again, some of this is messaging because we used to say you can catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. Meaning you can get, if you market the message in a positive way, you're more likely to get, people listen to it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, climate change. I know we're here talking about being an artist.
Yeah, no. We're here to this is profile of you, so people get to see you.
The moment I can just close by saying like thank you, and secondly talk about my podcast, for example.
Yes, is this what we see behind us?
Yeah, this idea came during the lockdown. You know,
right.
Lockdown now has nothing much to do, mate. But
I was reviewing bad films on YouTube, so I can understand not having much to do.
I started to be creative.
Right.
So I draw this before I started a podcast. I had this vision. This is gonna be like my own fucking radio station, whatever it is, blah blah and stuff. And I put an effort in that shit. And now, bam, it's working well. It's doing great.
Yeah. What's your podcast called now?
Siyakhuluma. Siyakhuluma means.
Okay, so.
Siyakhuluma, it means we talk in my language.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Cool.
So we talk about things matters in our communities, especially refugees, asylum seekers, the way the UK government treats refugees. I just had a wonderful interview last week with Yana, my friend in Ukraine. She's a Ukraine activist, but I wouldn't say the location where she's now. But yeah, we'll talk about simple things like why other refugees are treated different. Like everyone now is jumping to Ukraine refugees. Hey, come, I can keep in my house. But when they campaign for elections, like, oh, we're running out of houses. So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Ukraine refugees shouldn't be looked after. I'm just talking about the UK government system is biased and it's a little bit stupid actually. So Yana, anyway, she's on my podcast already anyway. She said, listen, let's take this system, use it as an opportunity to actually treat everybody like Ukraine refugees. If it works, the way you treat European refugees, you will use it to treat other refugees and the same instead of fighting each other like, you're treated different than me. So that's what the podcast is about, like having these kind of dialogues and talk to people and sharing ideas. That's what I like about it. So I've got lots of guests from different countries. So yeah, we're doing great.
Good. And people can see it on Spotify, YouTube.
Yep, on YouTube. I always say www.we'lltalk.
I will put the link in the description so people will find it.
Yep. I'm doing great.
I'm going to check the time because you said, you need to go in about a minute.
Yeah.
So, Nico, thank you very much.
You're welcome,
and I'll see you around.
Good, man. Thanks. That's good.